Uh, let's go, man. I know you don't even have the energy to do this, but you know what I'm saying. I gotta get this out of my head while it's still fresh. Today I wanted to talk about racism. I haven't been a victim of it, thankfully, or I have, and I just haven't noticed. But yeah, who knows? Who cares? Well, it's not, it shouldn't be. Who cares? So racism. It's something that's been existent since the dawn of time. Well, not since the dawn of time, but it existed for a long, long time now. From slavery times up until now, you know what I'm saying? Um, I'm not gonna lie. I would have understood racism if it was caveman, if it was Neanderthals, because it's they're not as like intellectually advanced as us. So I'm guessing they'd still have that primal fight or flight instinct. Because imagine, right, your whole life you're used to seeing people, like imagine I'm used to seeing people with my skin color my whole life, and then out of nowhere, boom, white man appears. Hey, hold on, who that? You know, I imagine that's how the Neanderthals would react. Maybe there was racism back all the way back then in the caveman era. Who knows? But I want to talk about racism in recent times. Going all the way back to 1492. Christopher Columbus discovering Cuba, right? Oh, and for a little history, the word Indians, it comes from Indeos, and I don't know, bruh. I'm not a fucking historian. Anyways, um, all I don't understand racism. I'll be honest. To be I to be able to be so terrified or have such disdain for another human being based off a different pigmentation, based off melanin, that's crazy. You have to have a pretty boring life. You have to have a pretty sad life. You have to be pretty soulless. you have to be pretty bored to spend your whole time and energy. No, you filthy black. Yeah. Um, I'm not gonna lie. I had an idea on how to solve racism. Now this is just an idea. Um, but you know, I already pitched it to my coworkers. They were like, "No, that's fucking dumb. It's not gonna work." I don't know. I don't know. Y'all tell me. I'm talking like anyone's gonna comment on this, but who cares? I feel in my opinion, if we can't be together, if we try and try and try and we can't gel together, why not fully, you know, just I mean, the world has a Western hemisphere and an Eastern hemisphere for a reason. I'm pretty sure the indigenous people, I'm pretty sure they were chilling before Amerigo and Columbus and all of them discovered the New World. You know, with Africa, when the Portuguese went to Africa, shout out Mansa Musa. You know what I'm saying? And discovered gold and all of that. I imagine we were pretty chill. The people of the New World were chilling, still collecting fruits, hunting, and all of that, and and the Europeans, which is, but they're doing European shit, I guess. Eh, I guess they were technologically very advanced, because they were able to invent huge ships. God, I remember I remember the name of the three ships Christopher Columbus pulled up with, or the three main ones. I don't remember the story exactly, which is crazy because I'm Haitian. I should know the story of the Caribbeans and yeah, but La Santa, La Verba, Santa Maria, whatever it was. Anyways, yeah, back to my solution. If we can't mix together, we stay fighting. Why not separate us? You know what I'm saying? And I swear to God, and if we still have problems, you can't blame it on the other. You can't blame it on the white man. And if the white man has problems, they can't blame it on the black man. Facts. I don't know. I find it fairly simple. My coworkers were telling me that I would be separating mixed families. I didn't think of that. So here's another solution. The ones that are racist or that don't want to be with black people, go. You know. But I remember I was talking to my homegirl. I told her that she said something. She said, "Do you think that they would go that easily?" You know, she has. I feel like she has a point. Because in my head I was thinking, you guys have our culture. You guys have our food. You know what I'm saying? You guys can replicate our music. You guys got the spices and the recipes, bro. Leave. Hey, but yeah. Um. Oh, right. I had another thought that popped up. I was watching Tokyo Ghoul. I was rewatching Tokyo Ghoul. And for the people that don't watch anime, Tokyo Ghoul, it's imagine a world like ours, except cannibals, superpowered cannibals, quote unquote. Um, yeah, and the ghouls in Tokyo Ghoul, the ghouls, they look just like humans, except for the fact that they can't eat regular food. Steak, fish, chicken, all that good stuff. They can't consume it. I'm not gonna lie. That is a terrible life. Oh my, kill me, man. I off a bridge if I couldn't eat no good shit anymore, bro. You know, and all of that tastes like dirt to them. All they can eat is human flesh and drink coffee, so they don't even sleep. And in this anime, and it's not all the ghouls, right? A lot of majority of the ghouls are regular. They're pretty normal, other than that little tweak about them. And of course, it's a shonen, so of course you got to have the superpowers, but whatever. And I was thinking to myself, is there a scenario where racism would be justified? Stick with me. Because in the anime, the ghouls obviously are very discriminated against. It doesn't matter if you're one of the regular ghouls that don't actively go out of their way to hunt and eat humans. For example, there was a lady and her daughter. All they did was they ordered the meat, right? And it wasn't even people that they right. It was people that themselves, and that they chopped up so, but that didn't matter. In the eyes of everybody, you're still a ghoul, no matter what you do, or no matter what you eat, no matter how you try to calm the hunger down or whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty sad, and it hit me because melanin. But I thought about it. Would it be justified to be racist and have segregation if the victims were basically flesh eating demoscens of the night, you know? Or, uh, yeah, no, I don't think I have any other scenario. This video is pretty, 10 minutes, pretty much shorter. It's shorter than the other ones. Um, but yeah, one, I gotta add a few things. I'm not gonna lie. If you're racist, low IQ. I don't care. Like the fact that your life and personality is centered around a whole race of people, which I don't believe in different human race because you know I don't remember, was it in the 1960s or in the 1950s that I don't know. I think it was in that era when they had the most racist group of scientists, right? Or somewhere during those times, right? Those were the ones that made the human race thing, whatever, and classified humans, talking about what the white man is the epitome of human evolution, and blacks are a little behind. That's why they have those prominent features that you find in the find in cavemen. And then came when we were able to do God, I forgot what process, something with genetics. We found out that Africans are 0% Neanderthal, and white Europeans are between 2 and 3% Neanderthal, right? And before when they were talking about the blacks are not as evolved as us, that's why they did this and that. Being called a Neanderthal was considered an insult, right? And after they did their discovery about how whites are closer related to Neanderthals than the Africans and black people, they started talking about, ooh, they must have been. We gotta praise their creative genius because they discovered fire, they discovered the wheel, the paintings on the caves, and yeah. I remember reading this statement. Damn, I gotta buy a new lamp, bro. My light is tweaking out. But yeah, but I remember reading this statement somewhere or hearing this statement somewhere saying it goes along the lines of racism is the only invention that the white man refuses to take credit for. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That did. Oh man! And to the white people that are gonna be like, no, but it was 200 years ago. There's no letting go of shit like that. It wasn't just whips and picking cotton in the sun. It wasn't just that. It was rape. It was abuse. It was, I can't even say the word. You know what I'm saying? Tied up to a post, burned alive. It was burying your child up, burying your child on the ground from the neck up, leaving only the neck, the head out, taking it repeatedly until the child's head pops off. You know what I'm saying? It was the women. It was the white woman going and taking advantage of the black man. It was the white man going and taking advantage of the white woman. It's more than just whips and chains and whatever. Take that shit out of your head. How would you feel if I took your brother. Nah, how would you feel if I took your mother, tied her to a rope, and rocked her to death? I stoned her to death because she was right in an argument. You know what I'm saying? The term motherfucker. Do your research. Yeah. But that's that. Much more. It's a bit more serious video today. Um, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little tired, bowed up, hungry as hell. I made some potatoes. I eat breakfast for dinner. Don't ask, right? Um, yeah, and I had to get a bird out there. How did the bird even? Hold on. How did the bird even get into this room? Like my windows are closed. Whatever, man. It was a long day, man. I'm a little tired, but I had to get the video out. I'll probably upload it tomorrow because I'm about to go to sleep. Anyways, man, like I said, have a blessed day and never let anyone tell you that you can't be nothing in this life.